Up here. Seems to be some confusion in the community as to what is bugging them and what is not bugging them, who their friends are or who their friends say they are. Who do you believe your friends are? You know, it comes to that sometimes. It's like you see the comments, you see like you gotta click on comments to see if that's actually their channel or not. That kind of shit. You know, that shit's been in my life for a long time. It's just what you gotta do. They're making us do extra clicks just to find out what's actually going on. And sometimes we're like, man, this is a waste of my fucking time. How much do I really give a shit about what other people think about me? Well, if you're a real Linda, you do. I'm one of them. I mean, I wouldn't be here if I didn't. It all started with the large order program for me. Oh, you're like, wait, whoa, what? You're in the large order program? Nope, I'm not. But that was the very first thing I got lectured on. Very first thing I ever got lectured on was a large order program. People are still talking about it today. Jacob Warren is one of them. I know he's got some friends on the side of this community that don't want to talk about Glitchgate. I get that. Nobody can make him do it. You can say anything you want bad about him, but it's not going to make him do it. The large order program was a suggestion from some content creators that they said, we can show you how to do it, or here's how to do it. The large order program is probably, I'd like to say, one of the biggest programs on DoorDash. It's the one that when you get lucky, you get the big juicy orders, the ones that can go anywhere from $25 to $200. Those are the ones that you want to be involved with. You know, you have a catering bag, you got to set it up, all that stuff. What does that take? 5 minutes? You know, you pay what, $1.25 for a catering bag these days. But what they failed to mention to you is that there's no how to. You have to be invited, folks. The large order program, the catering program, that is invite only. It doesn't matter. Once you pass that small stats requirement to be in the large order program, you either get invited or you don't. There's nobody that's going to give you any advice on how to get in there. There's no getting in there. You either qualified or you're not. And if you are qualified, they'll invite you. If there's an opening. See, this got lost. This is just like my last video. Certain things are getting lost. People that are telling you ways to make money on YouTube about gig work, especially DoorDash, they're forgetting something. It doesn't matter how much they edit. It doesn't matter how much they show you in a ride-along. It doesn't matter who their friends are, how many views they got, subs, likes. None of that is there. I've said this before. That's irrelevant in your financial pocket. It makes never mind to you. You have to remember something. All you got to do is go to the DoorDash website, even knowing that some of that stuff is going to find you not well, because it's repetitive, it doesn't update, and it's usually not 100. But what you do need to know is this. The people that are trying to sell you on their channels or their views by telling you this is how you get into a large order program, they've also forgotten to mention that that's by invite only. That has not changed. And then you got the diamond program, which works for some markets, doesn't work for others. So why are we talking about that in general consensus? I'll never know. And then you have Top Dasher. I happen to be one of them. I did it by choice. It wasn't because I had to. Nobody said, you be a Top Dasher or you're fired. You be a Top Dasher, you won't make any money. No, I did it because I needed to be on the platform whenever I wanted in the summer of 23, the one that just passed. I had no leg up with the school kids, the college kids, the students that were out driving, doing the same thing I was and saturating the market. That was a real problem, so I decided to become a Top Dasher. That was on me. I'm not going to say it's for you. Why in the fuck would I tell you it's for you? You might make more money than I do verbatim in your economy than I do in mine because you're not a Top Dasher, and cherry picking is actually the only thing that works for you. Other people would say, look at my charts. Look at them. Look at these charts right here. I'm showing you my charts. I drew this eloquently. I even put them up in edit so everybody could see my charts. My charts about my market, my charts about my dashing, my charts about my gas price, the mileage of my car, my charts about my merchants, and what you should do if you want to be successful. And I asked myself, I was like, wait a minute, whoa. I mean, I know I'm not the smartest guy on the planet. Well, that doesn't mean that I'm not the good-looking one. Anyway, I'm not the smartest guy on the planet, but I know this. There is no fucking possible way anybody on YouTube is going to tell me what's best for me in my market. How to do the best I can in my market. I mean, holy and motherfucker of shit. Why would you listen to anybody on YouTube in a market that's completely irrelevant and vice versa from yours, telling you to bet on yourself, or this is how you get large order program, this is why you be a top dasher, this is why you be a cherry picker? Why would you listen to anybody doing that? Is it that bad? Have you gotten to that point to where you're just desperate as fuck to find an answer? I can relate to that. Here's my answer to you for when you start feeling that way. If it's that bad, you gotten past the point to where you did the how-tos on DoorDash and you do know how to do it, and if you're doing it and it's not working for you, you're not making the money, your car's breaking down, you're not a self-made mechanic like I am. So when it comes to cars and shit, I don't worry as much as a lot of people do. I simply buy fucking beaters that I can work on myself. The fucker dies, I pay $1,100 for it. I drive it, I make $5,000-$10,000 with the car, and then it goes to the fucking junkyard. I sell it for scrap, get another one. Meanwhile, I do oil changes and brakes, alternator, starter, a fuel injector here or there. The stereo goes out, who gives a fuck? You know what I mean? Gets scratched, who gives a fuck? You know what I'm saying? The transmission starts slipping, you kind of give a fuck. And then you fucking deal with it and fucking sell to some other guy that thinks he's a shade tree mechanic, and you just let them deal with it. You take that money and just buy another beater and keep going. I have 2 cars. They're both beaters. They're just junk. But they work. And they're making me a shit ton of fucking money. No, I'm never going to spend any money on a car to do this job. Not once ever. I will never do that. The one I'm driving now has got more dents on it than fucking Flex's forehead. Oops, that was a derail. So what I'm getting at here is, when you're listening to other content creators telling you how to dash, or these are tips and tricks that can help you dash, the one thing that you've forgotten about, which I've noticed on a lot of these comments and videos over the last month, is that people are listening to other people here, other dashers, other gig content creators that have answers, or so they say, like tips and tricks with edited videos. I'm like, wait a minute, whoa, what? You're not telling the people the right thing. The right thing should be, I know this might not work for you, but in my market it works for me. And if any part of this sticks to the wall when you throw it, maybe that'll help. But I just got Jacob Warren because they're all complaining about getting views paid for it. Somebody's buying them views, so they're losing their AdSense, which is an old trick in the book. You can buy channels, views, subscribers, and likes, and they will lose their AdSense. I'm proud to say I have not done there since I've been in this community. I've not been there. I've not done that. And I'll tell you why. I'm more interested in seeing how they deal with it on their own with other people. Because it's easy to spend $2 to get, somebody 300-400 views. That's not a problem. Anybody can do it. You just got to Google it, and it still works. It's just like the glitch. That still works. But I don't know why anybody would do it. I don't know why anybody would do it. If you're part-time and don't give a fuck, then maybe you do it, I guess. That would be on you. But for those of us that are full-time and actually take this kind of serious, I guess we're fluffernutters too. We're fluffernutters because we support the people that are like, here's DoorDash, here's Top Dasher, here's a top 3 program, here's, all the good stuff that goes on with it when it does work right. It doesn't always work right, but it does work right sometimes. And if it does, you're a part of that. And that's the best you can ask for sometimes. It's not going to be perfect. None of us are going to get that. I mean, that's just that's just pissing in the wind if you think it's going to be perfect. I've heard all the arguments about DoorDash versus a W-2, and I'm like, yeah, I had a W-2, so why are you fucking preaching to me? W-2 was anything but perfect, and that's why I left the W-2 to come to the gig work, and the gig work is actually treating me better. Fluffer nutter again, I guess. I guess I'm trying to sell you guys on something, but I'm not playing any fucking ads or anything. I'm not getting anything out of it other than fucking venting to you, and some of you get it, some of you don't. I mean, that's the way it's going to be. But why in the fuck would I promote anything that I didn't believe in? Why in the fuck would that make any sense to anybody? It wouldn't make any sense to me. So when you hear people talking about like Top Dasher sucks, or look at my charts, or cherry picking for the win, or you know the fuck ever it might be, anybody that's trying to gain from you is a problem, in my opinion. If they're financially gaining from you, that's a problem. You should look into that for yourself. Don't listen to me. Don't listen to anybody else. But look into it. Make your own assessment. You know, make your own assessment of that. I can't tell you. I'm not going to try to tell you. But I know how I feel about it. If somebody is gaining financially from telling me how to do my job better, right off the bat, that's a flag for me. It just is. It's a flag for me. Not one of these guys that we've supported over the last year and a half has come out clean on this deal. We've seen Nugs, we've seen Pedro, we've seen a whole bunch of these big channels talk about things that we thought were going to help us, and in the end they fucked us, and now they're mad at us. And you know, I can understand that. They're human. They should be mad at us. You don't want to be called out on that. Now one of them's been demonetized, and the other one is fucking leaving the gig economy, and everything's just falling apart for them. It's a car accident, and no adjuster is going to come. There's not going to be any adjuster at any insurance company that's going to fix this problem. It's just going to leave, and somebody's going to clean up the mess, and everybody's going to move on. That's what's going to happen. I've seen this before. It's going to happen again. It's happening now. So the next time you look for advice on YouTube, I have a suggestion for you. Just don't look for it. You're a grown-ass motherfucker. I don't care if you're a millennial or an old motherfucker like me. Just find it yourself in your heart, in your mind. And just go out there and get your card. Make mistakes. Do it wrong. Do it right. And you'll learn on your own. DoorDash isn't going to fucking get rid of you because you make a few boo-boos. They're not going to fucking love you more because you got 20 million deliveries and you got a 5-star rating. It's got nothing to do with it. It never did. It's all part of the game. We've all been pawns in the game. The difference is this game actually pays cash. So know your game. If you want to get paid, just know your game. Understand it. If you're not going to get to that point to where you do know your game, then maybe this isn't for you. I'm not saying that in a negative way. Maybe it's not for you. If you got to say DoorDash sucks, it's the worst thing since sliced bread, everybody fucking sucks, all people are liars. I mean, I hear these people all the time. I'm like, damn, it's that bad? It reminds me of going to a fucking drive-thru at a fast food restaurant, and they're fucking mean to you at the speaker, and then when you get to the fucking window to pay for it, they're even more rude. I'm like, you know what? Here's my suggestion to you. If you really don't like it that much, or if you actually hate it that much, why in the fuck are you working here? Why are you... Because you got bills to pay, you're mad about it, you've had a bad day. I don't know their life story, but I'm still at the same point. I'm like, if it's really that bad, can you just try to be happy a little bit for yourself? You know, that rubs off on other people. Why do you got to be so fucking mean to me? All I'm wanting is a fucking, a beef and cheddar with some fucking curly fries, maybe some jalapeno poppers. Now I feel like I fucking ruined your day. Thank you very goddamn much for this overpriced food. What the fuck did I do to anybody? That's what you ask yourself. I just went to the drive-thru. It's just like on DoorDash. You come up here and you fucking make a comment on YouTube about DoorDash, and you get these fucking haters and shit. Or these fucking simpletons that don't know how to fucking respond to the correct fucking terminology of what the fuck it is you're saying. And then you got to read their comment and get a fucking headache because understanding what the fuck these haters say sometimes is almost impossible, if not stupid to even try. So why would you spend your time doing that? Your car keys and the gas that's in your car, if it runs, that's all you need. As long as you got an active app, well, who gives a real, like, two fucking shits how what's done on YouTube? Nobody gives a fuck how it's done on YouTube. That shit never applied to me. It never applied to you. It never applied to anybody. What I do don't even apply to the fucking people that are 62,000 large in subscribers and talking about how their life has changed, but they're special. I'm like, I got news for you. It's just like when Michael Jackson died. I got so pissed off. I was like, well, when my dad died, nobody gave a fuck. Except for the family. Michael Jackson died, the whole world went ape shit. I'm like, that ain't fair. How is that fucking fair? My dad was important to me. More important than Michael Jackson was to me. Nobody gave a fuck about him. Why am I supposed to care about Michael Jackson? He was a great entertainer and a great man. In my opinion, that's just how I feel about it, but it had nothing to do with me. It just makes me sick when people glorify people that are somehow on this fucking pedestal of life. When in fact they shit just like we do. They take our fucking pants, they take their pants or their skirts off one leg at a time, just like we do. They have the same fucking problems. Nobody's paying their bills. They have to pay their bills. They don't have a leg up on anything that comes into your life. Not one fucking leg up. Not one answer. Nothing that will sustain you in any long-term longevity. You might get a kick out of it. You might smoke a blunt, drink a beer, go out dash and think that you learned something from them. Go out there and do a fucking a paper order, or a fucking earn by time, or a fucking shop and deliver, or a fucking large order program, or a fucking pizza program. You might do one of those things and think that you're getting something good because you listen to one of these people on YouTube. No, that's not the case. That's not the case at all. The fact is that you heard one thing a long time ago, you used it, and then you made it good. You're the one that made that good for you. And now you can't even duplicate that for somebody else. There's no way you can do that. That's not the way the system works. It's like somebody once said, if we're all top dashers, then nobody's a top dasher. Well, that's a fact, because if everybody was in a large order program, nobody would be in a large order program. Don't waste your time on anything anybody says about how to do this job better for yourself. But you might want to waste your time on opinions from people that are talking to each other, relaxing their mind enough to actually listen. Fuck all the lies. Fuck all that shit. When you got a panel full of people that are yelling over each other, like laughing at other fucking gig workers. Why are you? That's drama. That's not education. That's not even good for you. There's so many more things you could be doing. One of those is dashing your heart out, or Uber Eats, or whatever it is. At the end of the day, that's just a title for what you're doing, but the fucking money spends the same. It doesn't matter where you got your 20 from. It doesn't matter if it's Uber Eats, Instacart, DoorDash. Those things are just discussions. What matters is when you got a bill to pay and you have that 20, and so you don't even give a fuck anymore where it came from or who told you how to get it. You just know that you went out and got it. So when you're doing all these different tasks that suck or they're good, just remember this: you're the one behind the steering wheel. You can only blame yourself, or if you do really good, you're the only one that gets the fucking trophy. You don't give it to anybody else. Either way. Because if you gotta listen to somebody else and you feel good or bad about what you're doing, that is on you. That's a fucking boo-boo, man. That's a fucking oops. That's a major oops. I've said it before, I'll say it one last time. If you started doing gig work and YouTube did not exist, where would your life be right now? It would be drama-free, and you would have had to figure it out the hard way. You would have taken your lumps, and you would have figured some shit out and took what you could, and that's just the way it is with every job. It doesn't matter if it's a W-2 or not. Whatever we do in life, we have to do it our way, because at the end of the day, no matter what advice we get from anybody on YouTube or anywhere else, our job performance is depicted by us while we're doing it. All you got to do is go do it. If you're good at it, you'll be fine. If you suck at it, you won't. You might want to try something else. That's it. That's the bottom line. Done that way my whole life. Nobody gets to tell me how to do this job. Either I can do it or I can't. Either I'm happy with it or I'm not. I don't like people telling me that if I watch their videos while they're getting paid per clicks, that why would you not listen to me? I can show you how to do something. It's like, motherfucker, I know how to do something. I know how to do something, all right, bro. I've known how to do something. I ain't 55 years old because I've been living under a bridge and can't feed myself. I know how to do shit. I don't need the likes of some motherfucker getting paid with fucking editing to tell me how to fucking dash, large order program, top dasher, cherry pick, charts that have absolutely nothing to do with my market. I think I'm smarter than that. I just want to leave it there. Hope you guys found this video well. I'm a little bit perturbed tonight, and I hope that didn't find you badly, because I'm not in the biggest sense of humor. But some of the shit with the DoorDash and the gig apps is kind of getting on my nerves. We passed Glitchgate, now we're to this. And that's a good thing. We need to get back to real. And I hope that helps. Getting back to real with gig work is where it's at. Torp out.